Hey guys, it's Sydney. Welcome back to my channel. Tomorrow I am very excited to say that I get to go to Disneyland, which is one of my favorite places, definitely my favorite theme park hands down. So I wanted to share with you the look that I'm going to be wearing with my makeup tomorrow when I go. When you are planning a trip to Disneyland, make sure you check the weather. Now usually when you go to Disneyland it's going to be very hot because it's in Southern California and the busy months of the year tend to be during the summer. Tomorrow it is not going to be hot at Disneyland at all, so I don't have to do too much work to try and combat any sweating or heat that I'm going to be getting. But you want to make sure that you really are checking your weather before you go and prepping for your specific day and your specific weather. So the first thing I'm going to do is prep my skin for makeup. So I'm going to put on a serum and then I'm going to put on sunscreen lotion before I start anything. It's really important that you wear sunscreen as the first layer underneath all of your makeup so that it actually absorbs into your skin and protects you in the way that it is meant to. So I'm going to be using a really lightweight serum. This is the e.l.f. Beauty Shield Serum, which has vitamin C and antioxidants in it. This serum goes on really lightweight, almost, it just looks like clear liquid. So I do have another serum that I've been using and really loving by number 7, Protect and Perfect Advanced Serum. And I do really like this serum, but it is more like a lotion rather than a liquid. And because I'm going to be putting kind of a heavy sunscreen on my face, well, it's not a heavy sunscreen specifically, but because I'm going to be putting a sunscreen on my face, I want to start out with something really lightweight underneath that so I'm not building up so many layers. So I'm just going to do a couple drops around in different places, maybe even on my neck. This serum is really lightweight and just feels like I'm putting like water on my face. It is, as it dries it gets a little tacky, but it starts out really very much like liquid. A lot of serums have this kind of texture, so I think actually the number 7 one is the only one I've used that does have more of a lotion feel to it. So start it with something really lightweight, and that's a really good first layer to put on your skin anyways, just to protect your skin as a first layer with all the antioxidants. Ends up being a good thing. So then the next thing I'm going to do is go in with sunscreen. So the sunscreen I use is not a specific face sunscreen. I found that I don't really feel too much of a difference between a face sunscreen and a regular sunscreen, and the regular sunscreens come in such larger quantities and tend to be a lot more affordable. But if you know that you have sensitive skin when it comes to sunscreen and that you tend to be bothered by the chemicals that are in sunscreens, then you can definitely use a lighter weight sunscreen. Whatever is gonna actually get you to wear it is what you should be wearing. So because you wear sunscreen underneath the full look, I tend to go with more of a matte look on top of it because the sunscreen tends to kind of come through. You're going to need to reapply sunscreen obviously during the day. I probably won't need to do as much because it won't be very hot and it won't be very sunny when I go, but it's good to kind of start out with a base layer. I think it is really important to wear sunscreen even if your foundation has SPF in it. You don't really tend to wear that much foundation caked onto your face, so it really is important to have that first layer down. What I will do now that I've put sunscreen all over my face, I'm going to go in with a beauty blender and really just push it into my skin to kind of blend it out and help it sit as a smoother layer underneath the foundation. Okay, so for example, this e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation I believe has SPF in it. I'd have to check, but I think it's only like SPF 15 or something. And that's just not going to be enough coverage for me, especially if it was going to be really sunny out during the day. It's just not going to be enough. So if you can, and if it is your preference, you want to go with a pretty light face of makeup if you know that you're going to be out all day. So if you can start out with kind of a light face of makeup that doesn't require too much retouching, then that's going to be the ideal. Just taking it on to my eyelid as well. I don't really wear eyeshadow primers or eyelid primers, so putting a little bit of foundation there for me tends to work out pretty well. So then you just want to go through and really make sure that the foundation is pressed into your skin. That's going to really help it last longer. It's going to help stop it from caking up if it's really, really, really blended. Usually if I'm wearing a sunscreen underneath my foundation, I don't wear a primer because it ends up being just like slightly too many layers on my face. So really just going in, pressing in, and blending in is what's going to help maintain the look. So then the next step, I'm going to go in with some of my powdered bronzer. I have one of the e.l.f. bronzing palettes in Bronze Beauty. I think there's probably just one color. So just doing a really kind of light bronzing in my contour zone. So a little bit kind of accentuating the cheekbone there. I do tend to drag it down a little bit because I have such a strong jaw that it doesn't need any like extra highlight there, and doing a little bit of contour down my jaw there helps kind of round it out a tad bit. And this powder is also going to help set the foundation in these areas. I do have a cream contour, but I wouldn't want to use it. The powder on top of the liquid foundation is going to really help set it much better and won't slide around as much during the day. Because I'm not doing a very intense look, I'm actually also going to go in with that same bronzer. I'm just going in this upper corner here, and I'm going to do just a little bit of shading under my eyes here. I don't switch brushes for it, just kind of general little tapping there, and this a little under my nose to just kind of help with the shading there. So the next thing I'm going to be using is the e.l.f. Illuminating Palette. It doesn't have too much shimmer or shine to it. I don't know why they call it illuminating, but for me and my skin tone, these four work really well just to kind of spot place in different areas. So I can go through with this lightly lighter shade and put it in my highlight area. It's not like an intense highlight, but I can set that there. I can set my nose with this to bring out a little brightness there. I can set right here between my eyebrows with that as well, and then a little bit on my chin. The more peachy kind of blush one I can use to set my cheeks. And again, just using a really, really small amount. It's more to help kind of set in the foundation than to really do too much coloring. And then this kind of more gray, neutrally tone is actually a pretty good match for my skin. So I can use that one in all of these kind of in-between areas, blending out where I have my darker bronzer and just the regular foundation. So I put that on all like the transition areas. You may have noticed I skipped out on concealer. I don't really wear concealer at all. If I'm noticing that I have more darkness under my eyes than I would like, I'll just go in with a little extra foundation there. I do have a specific under eye setting powder, also from e.l.f. And I'll use that not up really far into my eye, but really just this kind of area right underneath, kind of this section of my under eye where my eyeball is. My under eye does have a lot of depth to it, so my lower lid sticks out pretty far with my eye, and then it sinks back really deep, and then my cheekbone sticks out really far as well. I don't know if you can like notice that here. So I find for myself personally, if I put a lot of product or a lot of powder there, it just ends up kind of settling into all of that. And I would have to do such specific kind of almost contouring to even out the whole thing itself. So I just do a little bit right underneath that crease, that eye there, and then that kind of helps make my eyes look a little bit bigger because I have that like really prominent double lid happening. So that's just for me personally what I do, and then I'm going to take that just over any little spots that I have. So that's my little star vein there that I like to try and cover up. I mean, my sunglasses are going to sit over there all day, so this bridge of the nose definitely going to be the part that needs the most touch up throughout the day. And then if I had any other little spots like this one here on my chin, I just use this under eye setting powder to do those little mini spot treatments. This is the rose light tone of the under eye setting powder. So this is so small that I can actually bring this with me tomorrow as my only as one of my only touch-up makeups that I'm bringing. And it's small, I can keep it in my bag, it's not going to take up a bunch of room. I can just take these two things with me and I'll be good to go to retouch any kind of bridge of the nose or any little areas that start to show throughout the day, if I even notice or get around to it. So the next thing I'm going to do is go in with some blush. So if it were going to be very warm, I would probably, I have already gone pretty light on this blush, but I know if I'm going to be walking around a lot all day, I'm probably going to get pretty red, so I don't need to go too intense with the blush. I can leave it pretty neutral and I will turn red myself to help myself help there with the blushing. So moving on to the eyes, I am going to start out with my little palette here, which is the Nude Rose Gold eyeshadows from e.l.f. I know you guys might get tired of me just saying that literally all of my makeup is from e.l.f., but it's just really affordable and I really like that. So there are two matte shades here. I know my palette's a little sad looking, but there's this kind of lighter gray tone and then this slightly darker purpley kind of gray tone as well. So I'm going to go in with those two matte shades. Oh, you know what? I think I accidentally just tapped both of them. So that was kind of like a mix of the two. So I put a little bit of one on one side of my blush and the other on the other side of the blush and then kind of mix the two just into my crease. And I could really honestly just stop there. That ends up being a really simple eye look, kind of adds a little bit of depth, a little bit of drama and color. If you wanted to go more exciting, you could. Just know that you don't want it to like smear and run all over the place while you're there. I almost never wear eyeliner, so I'm skipping that step and moving right to mascara. I just recently got this CoverGirl So Lashy mascara. I have it in black brown. And it's that one that has that like bizarre brush on it. And I'm still kind of figuring out if I like it or not. What I've noticed is that like so much product gets stuck on the ball of it that you end up kind of getting like too much on your face there because the other bristles are very small. I don't want to have to worry about my mascara bleeding or running throughout the day. But I do actually like the tip of this to get into that corner of my eye, those lashes there. My eye is pretty rounded on the top. It's a pretty extreme arc there, so I find it is a little bit difficult for me to get into that corner with other mascaras, which is kind of why I picked this one up. I was excited to try that out, but I'm still kind of getting used to it and seeing if I do really like it. I find getting the lower lashes with this ends up being much more difficult because it's just such a long brush and I'm in so much danger of just sticking that ball tip right on my face. But I'm just gonna really only get the outer lashes on the lower eye out there. Darkens the outer edge of my eye. So then I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline brow pencil and just fill in a little bit of where my brows are a little patchy in the front. I have really long, thick brow hair, but just filling in that very front where they do get a little bit patchy helps with the shape. And then going in with my NYX Control Freak brow gel and kind of brushing all of these in place. All right, so then the last thing I'm gonna do are lips, and the lip color that I'm gonna go with is the e.l.f. Matte Lip Color, I think they're just called. They come in this little pencil format, but they don't think they're called lip liners or anything. I think they're just like a matte lip color. This color I really like because it almost is the exact same color as my lips. I know that seems a little maybe unnecessary, but it does kind of complete the face. It makes me look like I haven't forgotten about my lips. And also because I will be out all day, if the color does kind of wear off of my lips a tad bit, it doesn't throw off the whole look. If I was going to do an intense color, I would go with a matte lipstick that I knew and trusted and know would stay on all day. I have worn the Lime Crime matte lipstick all day long at Disneyland before, and it does last really, really well. This is an incredible matte lipstick. This is what I would use if I was going with a more bold color, but this one, it might not last as long, but if it does wear off a little bit, it's not gonna throw off my whole lip and just keeps me looking a little more natural. Not that you shouldn't look unnatural at Disneyland. I mean, if you're gonna wear fun makeup anywhere, that's kind of the place to do it. Actually, I have one more look, so I'm gonna put my hair back up. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my face. So what I do is I have my witch hazel that I use as a setting water, and I'm gonna just put a little bit into my sponge and then tap just a tad of it off because I went a little crazy. And then I'm just going to go over the whole face and push all of the makeup in together. Now, you really don't want your sponge to be soaking for this step because you don't want to, like, you know, smear off your makeup, but you're really going through and just pushing in all of that. And you can do this with a setting spray, just spray it directly into your sponge, and that's just going to help it stay for a long period of time. If you know there's some areas for you that slide around a little bit more, you can go in with a little bit more spray there and really target those areas with your sponge. So like I said, I'm going with a pretty matte look because the sunscreen that I have on underneath my makeup shines through and kind of almost like what a lot of like glow primers or glow lotion type things, type products would do. They kind of make you glow from within. The sunscreen kind of does that for you already. So I'm not gonna go in with a highlighter at all, keeping it pretty matte in terms of the products I'm putting on my face. Keeping it really simple is gonna make it easier for you to maintain your look throughout the day and just give you less to worry about during the day. You're not worried about, is my makeup okay? Do I need to reapply it? Is my look being thrown off because I've smudged something? You can go really, really simple, and that's all you really need to do. And obviously add whatever flares you kind of want to it that you would like to wear. Just keep in mind that if you are gonna be sweating a lot and out a lot, you don't want that to run. So if you have more oily skin or you know that you sweat a lot and it's gonna be pretty warm, you could use like waterproof products. For sure, that would really help kind of keep them in place and keep them more sweat resistant. So you can tweak it to your own liking and your own day and preference and whatever it's gonna be. But this is the look. This is what I'm gonna be wearing tomorrow. Make sure when you are packing your bag that you're only packing the essentials that you need to maintain your look. So you don't need to be bringing your full makeup bag with you. This will pretty much last for me all day anyways. And also just, I'm at Disneyland. I wanna have fun. I don't wanna worry about doing my makeup every couple hours throughout the day. So go light on what you're packing. I'm doing a packing video to show you what's gonna be in my day bag when I go. So I will link that above here, and I'll put it in the description box when it is up for you as well. And if you are going to Disneyland and that's why you clicked on this video, then have an amazing day. I love Disneyland so much, like with all of my heart and soul, and I'm really jealous that you get to go. Even though I'm going tomorrow, I'm just jealous that more people are going in the future. Have an amazing day. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you are new and you want to keep seeing more videos from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.